Hey everyone, and welcome to your Pilates class for today. We're going to be going through our Contrology work. So it's 34 different exercises. This is what Pilates originally started from. It wasn't called Pilates. We've now modernized that and named it after the man who wrote the Contrology program, Joseph Pilates. So this is a little bit of an insight into how far Pilates has come. There are some exercises, there's only one exercise in here that I'm not actually going to be taking through today because I don't believe that it is suitable for beginners or even intermediate people, especially when I'm not there to help coach you through it, and that is the crab, and that is number 31. So it's right towards the end, and I'll give you an alternative. It's just a lot of rolling, it's a lot of load through the neck, and it's just something that you should be doing under supervision of someone else, as it is quite advanced. Okay, so we're going to start with the 100, and I love this. I love going through the Contrology work. It all flows together quite seamlessly. We will be stopping incrementally, probably after every 10 exercises. I'll stop, give yourselves a breather, and then we'll keep going. Okay, so we're not going to spend a really long time on each, as it will take a little bit of time to get through them all. So I'm going to aim to keep it within about an hour session. Okay. So coming over onto our back, and we're going to start with the 100. So from here, a lot of these exercises we're going to be working with an imprinted spine. So just before we start any of them, I'm going to talk about what that is. So we're trying to remove the gap from our lower back to the floor. Okay, so it's going to be very different for everyone. Let's just start with our feet flat on the floor, and they can be sort of stacked towards underneath the knees, and then pushing the lower back down towards the floor, rib cage towards your hips, and then we're going to have the hands nice and straight, rise up with the chest, pull the shoulders down and away, lifting the hands, and then the beat is going straight up and down. Now the movement is coming from my shoulders, not my elbows bending and extending. Okay, so rib cage towards your hips, and we're imagining that you're holding a tennis ball in between your chin and your chest, so we're not squishing all the way down. We're also not leaving the head behind us. Okay, so rising up, and then our breath is in through the nose, out through the mouth the whole time throughout this entire class. Okay, that's our Pilates breath. So the hands are going straight up and down, and this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so we're doing 100. Let's do it, starting from the beginning. So you're more than welcome to have your feet elevated in a tabletop if you prefer, or a hollow, to make it a little bit harder. Big breath. Squeezing the feet together. Halfway. 5, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. Keep lifting the chest. 10, 8, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nicely done. Dropping it down. So we're going to do them one more time through. If your neck was getting really sore, just have one hand behind your head and do 50 with one arm and then 50 with the other. Your legs can be working through any of the options that I gave you. So feet flat, in tabletop, or legs extended. Okay, we're going to go into 100 one more time, and then we're going into the second exercise, which will be the roll up. All right, coming back down, rising the chest up, lifting the feet to whatever option you're going to be choosing, and let's do it. That's 30, 40, halfway, 5. Big breath through the nose, out through the mouth. 10, 9, 8, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice work. And controlling it down. So whenever we finish these exercises, let's try not to just collapse out of it. Control through your range. Get in a good habit of finishing everything properly. Okay, so the next exercise is a roll up. We're going to extend both legs away. Our arms are reaching overhead from here. And then we're going to just roll up as slow as you can, keeping the feet on the floor, drawing our chin towards our chest, rolling up through each vertebrae, rising up through the spine, get up nice and tall, sitting up and out of the hips, and then we're going to roll back down, drawing the rib cage towards your hips, rolling off your tailbone, and extending all the way back away. Okay? Rolling up, and then coming down. Now, if you're unable to get a full roll up, just roll up to as high as you can, and then lower back down from there. I want you to try and work on lifting up a little bit higher each time and keep drawing your lower back down towards the floor. Okay, if you're using quite a lot of momentum to get up there, that's fine. Just aim to have as little as possible as we start to warm up. Okay, let's go 2 more here. And last one. And down. Okay, so the next one that we're going to be going into is the roll over with leg spread. I'm just referring to my little sheet here, so I'm using the exact name for each one. Okay, so roll over with leg spread is we're going to start with our legs about mat distance apart. This is a great sort of gauge on how wide you should be. If you don't have a mat, it's just wider than hip distance, okay? And so we're going to rise up nice and tall through the spine to start, and then we're going to roll down through the spine. So basically you like slouch here, and then we're going to roll back off the tailbone, keep the legs straight, and we're going to lift up, and then try and roll back here, take the legs down towards the floor, and then we're rolling back down through the spine, coming up, use your core. Okay, so you can use the hands on the floor to start. Keep the legs as straight as you can, and then roll all the way down. Now, if you want to progress and advance from here, you can aim to not use the hands, okay? So aim to take the hands up off the floor, rolling back, squeeze through your bottom, lifting through the legs, and then rolling down with control, coming back. Okay, let's do 3 more here. Just remember, with all of these exercises, if they're feeling like they're not possible to do the full range, just go to as far as you can. So if that means that you come here, your legs are slightly bent, and then you come all the way back up, that's fine. Okay, let's do 3 more. Two more. Exhale as you come over. Inhale as you roll back up. Last one. Rolling down, nice and slow, and all the way up. Nice. Okay, we're going to go into our 1 leg circle. So rolling all the way back down from here, we're going to lift 1 leg up. Okay, try and keep the other leg as straight as you can. Now you'll notice a lot of these exercises feel like they're more biased towards mobility, where it's strength through range, increasing our flexibility. Okay, that is a massive component of Pilates. We have tended to steer away from that a little bit when we've modernized it, but it does get into some tricky sort of work in a little bit. It's actually very deceiving, this sort of work, not using any of the weights or resistance, how hard it actually can be. Okay, so this one we're working on isolation through the hip. So we're going to keep one side down, and then we're just going to circle. You can have the arms out to the side. We're taking the leg out as far as you can without this side lifting off the floor. So circle around, and then take it all the way down and draw it all the way back up. Circling around. So everything is still but the leg that's circling. Okay, doesn't matter what way you circle, we'll be reversing it in a second. Keep pushing this hip down, like especially the left side when your right side is moving. Let's go 2 more, and then we're going to reverse the circle. And 1, reversing, take it out to the side, squeeze up. I start to feel my quad here. Have your leg as straight as you can. Okay, try not to let it be too passive as we circle around here. Keep it locked out. Let's go 3. Push the hip down, 2, and 1. Drawing it in, let's go straight into the other leg, lifting up, circle round, and lower. So from this angle, this is what we're avoiding. See my glutes lift up, my hip pushes up towards the ceiling. Okay, trying to lose that contact, push it down each time. Okay, circle and up. Leg as straight as you can. Hands can be on the floor. Just make sure you're not absolutely gripping the mat or the floor here. These are some common things we see in this exercise. Use your core, use your legs to help you. It should be tricky. Okay, and let's reverse it. Other side, circle and control the leg as it lowers back down towards the floor. Let's go 3. This feels really nice in my hips. 2 and 1. Nice. Okay, if your hip flexors and quads are feeling pretty aggravated now, just give yourself a little stretch and then we'll come back into it. Okay, we're going to go into a rolling back, so it's just a rock back from here. If you want to roll the mat up in half, if your back gets a little bit sore on the floor, please do that now, or you could do this on carpet or a nice sort of thick mat. I actually had a really good question when we first started these on whether they should be performed on a hard surface or a soft surface, the carpet or say tiles. If you had to pick one, I would probably pick the harder surface as it's easier to stabilize yourself and feel where you're shifting, and it's just a sturdier base. I also find there are lots of benefits to using a softer surface. For example, you might be able to roll back more than you ever have before because you don't have the restriction of your spine on the floor. Another thing is that it can challenge your balance because it is unstable. So there's pros and cons to both, and I think swapping and changing between each exercise to suit your comfort needs can sometimes be a really positive thing for your training too, in terms of shifting your weight. Okay, so the next one, rolling back, we're going to hug our knees in towards our chest as hard as we can, rising up initially, and then we're going to curve through the spine, try and create a ball-like shape with your body, and then we're going to roll back as far as you can, as far as you're comfortable towards the shoulders, and then come all the way back up to this position. We're going to aim to do 10 rolls. Do them in your own time. Pause me if you need, if I move on too quickly, and let's do it. So just 10. Try and stay nice and straight the whole time. You'll feel if you start to reach towards one side more than the other, like this, you'll feel like you're going to kind of break away from the ball position, and you should be able to feel whether you're dropping straight back or not. This feels really nice on my spine. I've lost count. I'm just doing extras now because it feels nice. Alright, and last one, we're going to roll down and hold it onto our back. Coming into a single leg kick. This is warming up through our core, warming up through hip flexors and quads, but let's try and focus on it, feeling it in through the core here. So we're going to clasp our fingers together, place the hands around one knee, extend the other leg away. Okay, now this is the position that we're coming into with the legs in a low impact option. Okay, so this is the first option where we pull in and then you extend away. Notice my bottom leg is dropping down, the top knee is just pulling in towards my chest. So you might feel like if you don't lift the chest and you keep the foot on the floor, this is more of a mobility exercise. To feel it more through the core, let's lift the chest up, draw your rib cage towards your hips, elevate the bottom leg, keep it active, and now let's go alternating, pulling in and in. Rib cage towards your hips, lift your chest as high as you can. Make sure you are pulling the knee in towards your chest. Get a nice stretch through the hip flexor as we bend. Let's go 10, 9, 7, 5, 2, 1, straight into double leg. Okay, so we're pulling both knees in, and now just extend the legs away as far as you can, maintaining an imprinted spine. That's what I want you to prioritize today. So whether it means that you keep your knees bent and you just go to a tabletop and hug back in, tabletop and hug back in. If you can go full hollow, go for it, and back in. So you also have two options here. You can either leave the hips on the floor like I am right now when we pull back in, or if you want a little bit more out of your core, you could go lift and extend away. Lift and extend. Let's go 10 more seconds. 7, 6, 3, 2, and 1. Nice, have a little breather. I find them really hard on my core, okay? So try and focus on imprinting, pushing that lower back down, and then go through that. We're gonna do it one more time, that same exercise, and then we're moving on to a stretch, okay? So pulling both knees back in, and let's hug and extend. Let's go 4 more. 3, 2, and last one. Extend. Lower down. Nice. Let's come up to a seated position, and we're going to go with our legs back to that mat distance apart again, just wider than hip distance, and we're doing the spine stretch. This is number 8. Okay. So from here, we're going to round through the spine, draw your rib cage towards your hips, and then reach down as far as you can in between the legs. Both legs are as straight as you can, and then roll all the way back up. And again, reach and roll. Exhale as you reach forward. Inhale as you rise back up. Let's go 2 more. And last one. Okay, let's hold it out here now. So get your legs as straight as you can. You can point or flex your feet. Your spine is as flat as you can, pushing the tailbone out towards the back behind you. And let's hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Rolling it all the way up. Okay, so next we're going to be moving into a rocker with open legs. Okay, so this is different to the roll back with the roll over with straight legs. Okay, so the rocker with open legs, the aim is to try and hold your legs when we do it this time. Okay, it should feel a little bit harder to control, and we're also going to try and get a little pause each time we come up. So the first option, I'm going to show you the full exercise, and then I'll show you the options from there. Okay, so if you've done a fair bit of Pilates and you want to get straight into it, the position from here, let's get into it the hard way. We're going to lift up, active flex. You can push into the floor, and then you're going to catch your legs, reaching wherever you can. Legs are as straight as you can. Roll. So we're dropping through off the tailbone. Sorry, shoulders are down away from our ears, and then we're going to roll back, tapping your feet towards the floor, and then we're going to rise up, pushing into the legs, and try and get a little pause here, and then rolling back. And lift. Okay, so if you're comfortable with that and that's a good option for you, go for it. Keep continuing with that one. Second option is you can just start with the legs elevated. You don't have to do an active flex, and then same thing, rolling back. And then the third option from there is you can hold behind the knees and clasp the hands together, but your legs should still be in line with the mat on either side. Okay, and then you can just rock back from there, and then push up and try and hold. If it is too tricky to get that pause for everyone, you can just tap the feet back down and just try and reduce the amount of force that's coming down as we return each time. Okay, so we're going to spend about 30 seconds on this now. Let's do it. Try and get a pause, squeezing through the core. Inner thighs are drawing together a little bit as well. Legs are as straight as you can. Nice long spine each time we pause. Try and stay straight. Last one. And up. Nice. Okay, we're going to control the legs all the way down, And we're coming into last exercise before we have a break here. It's the corkscrew, okay? This is quite tricky. We're gonna have the hands on the floor here. Your feet are staying together. And now the bigger your circle, the bigger the corkscrew, the harder it is, okay? So I'm gonna start small and then progress to bigger, and you can keep progressing with me if you like. Okay, I'm actually gonna turn on an angle just so you can see me a little bit easier. Okay, so legs start straight, arms are extended, and now we're just gonna lift up, circle round, and then return back, okay? Keep imprinting the spine as much as you can, and then we're gonna reverse the circle. Up, circle round, and down, okay? If that range is good for you, stay there. You can always bend the knees as well, and then come back. Bend, and back. So you're not worrying about trying to keep the hips on the floor here. Okay, because eventually if you can do a full corkscrew, your bottom will be completely off the floor. Okay, let's try and make them a little bit bigger if we can. And back round, other side. And back round, okay? And then as big as you can, just go to whatever range you can with legs straight. We're gonna pick up, scoop round, and control all the way back down other side. These are very hard. Last one. Good. So we're really trying to control the lower in that one when we've come back from the legs being towards overhead. Okay, have a little drink, have a little stretch, and then we're going to get into the next lot with number 11, which will be the saw. Hello. All right. Okay, so coming into number 11, which is our saw, we're going to rise up and out of the hips, sitting up as tall as we can, drawing rib cage down. Arms are going to reach out to the side. And now we're going to twist to one side. The arm at the back is going to rotate down and up, so the palm is facing the ceiling. And then our little finger is reaching towards our little toe on the opposite leg. Coming down, rising up, and then re-square, other side. Rotate and down, coming up and square. Okay, let's keep it going. We'll just go 4 more and then we're moving on. And 2, 3, and 4. Okay, this next one, I'm going to show you an option now that you can do while I talk through this entire exercise. And then if you want to join in, you can, but please be mindful, this is a lot of extension and you really need to engage through your glutes and your hamstrings and your legs to protect your back. Okay, so the optional exercise is this. So stacking the hands, starting on our belly, and you're just rising up and then lower down, lift the legs and lower. Okay, so that's your option. Okay, while you watch me do this exercise, I just want you to get your back nice and warm, so you can start on your elbows. If this is a big stretch for you, just stay here. If you're not getting anything out of that, come up onto the hands just while you watch this one. Okay, so this is actually the starting position, up on the hands here. And now this is called the Swan Dive. It's one of my favorite exercises. So we're sitting up and out of the shoulders. Now we're engaging through your glutes, so squeeze your bottom, draw your inner thighs towards each other. Your legs don't have to be together here. And now we're going to keep our glutes, hamstrings, calves, and our core on. If you want to roll your mat up, you're more than welcome to. And the arms are going to be releasing from underneath you. They reach straight out in front, and then we're going to rock in a swan position, a swan dive. Okay, so we're going to rise up and out of the hips. Take a deep breath in, and as we exhale, we're going to come down, and try and have it continuous. Okay, so just be mindful. A lot of people think that they're going to whack their chin into the floor. You'll be surprised your depth perception once you're going down there you'll know when to stop yourself. But we want to make sure we're keeping our core engaged to protect your lower back. Now, if it means that you're only doing 1 rep, then you catch yourself, that's awesome. That's pretty advanced to be doing that one as well, okay? Otherwise, you can also do little rocks. Up, up. And then you can progressively try and get bigger. Okay, so spend about another 10 more seconds on this one, and then we're going to move on. Okay, it's normal for it to hurt your pubic bone a little bit, especially if you're, it just depends on how everyone's pelvis is sort of angled. It's not a bad thing. It's not because you're doing it wrong. Just roll the mat up to make it a little bit more comfortable. Okay, the next exercise we're doing is a 1-leg kick. This is actually Brent's favorite exercise from Pilates. So we're going to go with our hands stacked, and our forehead is going to stay down onto our hands from here. And we're keeping both hip bones pushing down into the floor. Bending 1 leg up, you can point or flex your foot. We're engaging through the glute of the bent leg, so squeezing up, lifting the knee straight up to the ceiling, extending the leg away, keeping the knee high, and then extend it all the way back down. Okay, and then we'll go other side. Lifting, keep pushing both hip bones down, extend the leg away, and lower. So working through the hamstring, through the glutes, your lower back, and your core is switched on here too. Let's keep it going, continuous. Bend, lift, extend, control down. And control. Let's go 4 more. 3, so we're just avoiding pushing the chin up or twisting too much. Okay, try and keep your neck in a nice long line. And last one. 1 and down. So we've got a double leg kick now. We're going to take the hands behind you if you can and clasp them together behind your head. If you can't quite reach here, just have the hands reaching behind you just next to your hips. Okay, and now we're going to bend the knees up as we're down, and we're going to have the head actually looking to one side this time. So we're moving through a different sort of range, and we're going to lift the shoulders up, open through the chest, and we're going to lift the legs and the chest together. And now we're going to bend back down, look to the other way. And again, extend and lower. So you can try and keep the knees up off the floor if you want to. When we come to the center, let's try and have eye gaze forward, nice long spine. Let's go 4 more. 3, 2, and last one, and down. Nice. Okay, coming over for a neck pull. Now with this name, I don't want you to actually pull as hard as you can on your neck, okay? It's just the position that your hands are in. It's quite low at the base of your head here. You can clasp your hands together, and then you can control and brace your neck and your head into the hands so it doesn't aggravate through your extensors, okay? So this is a core exercise. It's also a mobility exercise as well. So starting up nice and tall, and we're going to roll down through the spine. And it looks like I'm pulling on my neck quite hard, but we're just coming into as much flexion as you can, rolling through the spine. And now from here, we're going to try and use as little momentum, but use as much as you need to roll back up. And then we're going to come all the way down, curving as much as you can. Rolling all the way back up through the spine, and down. And back up. And forward. Let's go 1 more. Rolling up and down. And back up. And forward. Okay, now that our back is pretty warm, I presume, we're going to go into our scissors from here. So we're going to try and roll back and catch your hips up in this elevated position. And we're going to extend the legs all the way up towards the ceiling, lower one foot down towards the floor, then rise back up. Lower other side and rise back up. Progression from here is to take the hands away from your hips, lower, and try and keep the hips up. Okay, keep going with this if this is alright for you. Your option is you can have the hips down and just do the legs. Pull up and here, up and here. Okay, your range will be a little less in flexion because we're already at a bit of flexion through the hip. Okay, so notice I'm only getting about halfway towards my head, whereas when I'm elevated all the way up, I can tap my foot all the way down to the floor. Okay, so that range difference is normal. The next exercise we're moving into is bicycles. Okay, so we're going to go bending one leg and extending it through, then other side and through. You can flex your foot as it extends and then point it as you bend it in. Same thing, you can let go with the hands. Okay, optional, you can do your bicycles here with your hips lowered. Keep imprinting your spine if you're doing the second option. And let's all go for 10, 9, 7, 5, 3, 2, and 1. Nice. Have a little breather. So I feel my quads, my hip flexes a little bit, and definitely my core when I do that one. If you're elevating the feet and having the hands on the floor, not on your hips, it's also normal to feel your biceps doing a bit of work there. Okay, next one we're moving into is our shoulder bridge. Okay, coming down, and now from here we're going to tuck the shoulders under each other. So rather than just reaching when we're flat, reaching straight up into a bridge, we want to try and pull the shoulders underneath. So pushing open with the chest, rib cage is still drawing towards your hips once you've come up into your bridge. Okay, and now tuck under, high as you can. You have two options here. You can either work on lifting one leg up and tap, other leg and tap, or you can lower the hips halfway and rise, halfway and rise. Okay, let's go 10, 9, keep breathing, 6, 4, 3, 2, last one, and 1. Nice work. Rolling all the way down. Have a little breather. If you want to hug your knees in towards your chest, you can. If you want to do another set of those, go for it now. You can just work rising back up, lifting and lowering. Okay, otherwise you can have a little breather with me and we're going to go into the spine twist. So if you want to do a little more strength work now, you can just skip this exercise because it's definitely a mobility exercise. Okay, so either bridge or twisting with me. We're going to sit up, legs are coming about in that distance apart again, arms are reaching out, and we're going to twist to one side, little pulse, other side, little pulse. Keep twisting, sitting up and out of your hips. Let's go 10, 9, 7, 6, sitting tall, 3, 2, and 1. Nice. Okay, so we're going to come back to this position that we're in with the bicycles and the scissor kicks before for a jackknife. Okay, this is number 20. So we're going to keep the legs as straight as you can. We're rising up, pushing through the hips, then control all the way back down. Lift, lower, and lower back down towards the floor. So you can keep going with that option if that's good for you. Second option, you can have your legs as straight as you can, pushing the hands into the floor, and you can just go little lift and lower, lift and lower. Avoid swinging excessively with this one. We're just trying to lift straight up and then control back down using your lower abdominals here. Okay, otherwise your other option is you can do it with a bent leg. Some of you might find that's a little less load on the back. Okay, whatever option is suitable for you, I want you to try and get 10 reps of that done now, controlling as we lower each time. 7. Your breath is in through the nose, out through the mouth. 3, 2, and last one. Nicely done. Okay, we're going to roll over straight into our side. As this starts to get into more of the strength exercises, I want to try and have as little rest as possible to try and keep warm and really feel the benefits of these exercises that all kind of flow into one. Okay, so we're going to roll on our side and work with what is called the side kick. Okay, so we're trying not to be stacked directly on your hip. Roll back onto the musclier part of your bottom. Hands can go behind your head and we're going to lift the feet up. Okay, don't stress if you can't get the legs off the floor. If you want to just keep them down, you can. Okay, we're going to bring the bottom leg forward, top leg back. So if you're keeping your feet on the floor, it's tapping and then tapping back together. Okay, so you can tap here and in. Tap here and in. Okay, if you're going to elevate the feet, it looks like this. Lift and squeeze. Lift and squeeze. So if you're really struggling on your hip and it just feels really awkward and you're wobbling everywhere, you're probably too stacked. So roll the hip back and bring the feet forward. So I'm in a really, really extended V position. Okay, let's keep going. Kick forward and back. Try and lift the chest up. Imagine you're trying to lift up with the rib on the bottom side. Your obliques are working here. Let's go 10, 9, 6, 5, 3, 2, challenge for you. Try and stay up as we roll to face the other leg. And let's go kick and in. This is number 21. Keep it up nice and high. Shoulders are down away from your ears. And let's go 10, 9, 7, 5, nice long legs, 3, 2, and 1. Nice, drawing it in and dropping back to our mat on the floor. We've got number 22, our teaser. So arms are coming up, legs are up, and we're going to scoop the arms, legs together. Our bottom is our anchor, so we rise up together, lower down together. This is our first option. I'll show you some options in a second. So if you want to do this one, your chest lifts, feet are lifting. If one is going, if you're just getting your legs up or just getting the chest up and then you're getting a bit stuck, your timing is off. Okay, if you're able to lift both simultaneously, theory is you should be able to lift both together. Okay, with ease once you've got that timing. So keep going with that if you want to. Some options is you can start with your legs bent and lift up and then control back down. You could do one leg, exhale to come up, inhale as you roll down. Okay, whatever option suits you. Let's all try and work on doing 5 more reps with whatever option you're choosing. Okay, once you're done, let's come up and we're going to go into what is called a hip twist with stretched arms. If this one doesn't feel good for your back or it's just not something that you want to work on, your option is you can hold your end position of whatever teaser you're working on, so bent leg or straight leg, or you can just stay with the teaser because this one is another core exercise. Okay, so the arms are straight back behind you. And now the biggest thing that I see with this one is people collapsing into their shoulders. So we want to try and sit up and out of the shoulders here And then we're going to extend your legs away. And now we're going to twist to one side. And then we rise straight back up to the center. Other side, control down and straight back up. So I'm just going to turn around so you can see what angle I'm going on. So starting with them in the center, and then we twist to one side. Notice my hip comes off the floor, and then I rise straight back up. Trying not to collapse into the shoulders. Nice and tall, up and out of the chest. Let's go 4 more. 3, 2, and last one, and 1. Nice. Drawing it in. You can also do that one with bent legs, twisting across. If the straight legs is a restriction for you because of mobility rather than it actually being a restriction because of strength. So that's a really big tip that you should keep in mind throughout all of your Pilates classes. Sometimes it might not be that it's not a strength thing, it could be a timing, it could be a mobility. Okay, there's lots of factors, and I think that's why Pilates is so popular too, because it focuses on all of those things. So it shouldn't be easy, it is meant to be challenging, otherwise you're not really getting a whole lot out of it if it's not challenging you. Okay, so the next exercise we're going to be working on is a swimming. Okay, so we're going to draw our belly button towards our spine. For this one, our arms and legs are as long as you can. Eye gaze stays down to the floor, so our neck is nice and long. Okay, so coming down onto your belly. This is number 24, so we only have 10 more to go after this. Well, 9, because we're not doing the crab. Okay, so arms are reaching out, legs are out, and if we were to draw a straight line from our hands, they should travel all the way down through to your feet. Okay, so they're the same distance apart. Now we're going to flatten the hands on the floor, eye gaze is down, and we're going to lift the head up. Now we're going to squeeze through your glutes, and we're going to lift your right foot and left hand up, and then we swap midway in the air to go other side. Swap and swap. Okay, and now with this one, the aim is to get faster. Okay, so eye gaze stays down, lift, lift, and keep going, squeezing through your bottom until your range is a bit shorter, and we're beating through this nice and fast. Big breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. Let's go 10 seconds. Nice and tall. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, and we're going straight into the leg pull from here. Okay, so this is just it's called the leg pull front. It's just the plank. Okay, so we're going to rise up onto the hands. If you need to be on your knees, you can, and then you can just lift one leg and then one leg. But we want to make sure we're still extended through the hips. We're not in a 4-point kneel if you are going to be on the knees. Okay. Second option, which is the full option, is on your toes. We're pushing the floor away, rounding through the shoulders, and we're going to lift one leg up and then tap it back down. Up and tap. Up and tap. Let's go 10. Keep breathing. 9. In through the nose, out through the mouth. 6. Rib cage. 3, 2, and 1. Nice. Now we're going to twist round straight into the leg pull, which is just called the leg pull, but I would say to the back, it's just a reverse plank from here. So let's go with the fingertips pointing to face whatever way is comfortable for you. And we're going to sit up and out of the shoulders. Your first option, you can have the legs bent, and you can just hold here. Second option is you can hold with both legs straight. And then third option is to add a lift. Lift and lower. Hips are high. Let's go 10, 9, 7, 5, 3, 2, and 1. Nice. control it down. Okay, have a little breather, grab a drink and give your wrist a little bit of a break. We're gonna go into our side kick, kneeling from here, and that's also on the hand. Alrighty, and moving into our side kick kneeling. So coming up with our knees stacked directly underneath our hips. And now we're working through our obliques, our abductors, our shoulder. This is a good exercise, actually. I really like this one. So we're going to take the hand down to the floor, but we're going to go with one leg extended out first. Okay, so let's take our left leg out to the side, and now we're going to take the right hand down towards the floor from here. Okay, now we're going to plant the right hand down, and we're going to shift the hips down towards the right side just a little bit, and then we're going to pull the hips through. Okay, so we're trying not to sit back. Hips are through, elevate through the obliques on the top side. Hand is going behind your head, and we're going to lift the foot up off the floor. And now we're going to go pull the foot forward, square, back, and back. Forward, and back. Squeeze through your bottom on the left side and the right side. Try and keep the hips through. Especially when we go forward, people want to push the hips back. Try and keep them extended. Let's go 4 more. 3, 2, and 1. And yeah. Okay, and let's just go a little bonus lift. 10, 9, 7, 5, 3, 2, 1. Hold, drawing all the way in, and let's go other side. Extending your right leg away. Left hand comes down, right hand goes behind your head, and then extend or shift through, lifting the leg, and let's go forward. Center, back, and center. Squeeze through your right glute. Oop, lost my balance there. So you have 2 options. You can either have the foot flat at the back, or if you want to tuck the toes, you can. See what works best for you. Tucking the toes doesn't feel good for me. Let's go 2 more. Last one. And 1. 10 to the side. Let's go 10. 8, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and hold. And then coming back up. Nicely done. Okay, next exercise we're going to do is a side bend. Side bend from here. It's just a side plank. Now you have 2 options. You can either be on your hand or on your elbow. The original Contrology is on your hand. I'm actually going to do it on my elbow today, and I would normally recommend that everyone does it on their elbow as well, as I see 90% better technique when it's on the elbow. People to keep their shoulder down away from their ear, they rise up a little bit higher through the hips. So if you're unsure, please take my advice and go on your elbow. Okay, so we're going to go starting on the side. You can be on the feet if you like, or if you prefer to have the knees bent and push up onto the knee, that's totally okay as well. Okay, whatever one you prefer. Now the top hand is going to start with the palm facing up towards the ceiling on the leg, and now we're trying not to start like this. Okay, so we're not hanging out. Nothing should be passive in our Pilates classes. So sitting up and out of the shoulder, push the shoulder away from your ear. You can have this hand flat or elevated in a fist, whatever feels comfortable. Okay, if your elbow gets sore, let's just roll the mat up now and give it some support. And now we're going to go rising up, pushing the hips up towards the ceiling. The arm goes over, reaching overhead, and then control back down and lower. So you'll notice that we have to keep the shoulder down the whole time, and we're actually lowering and rising through the range. It's quite hard. It's a lot harder on the hand. Okay, we're going to try for 12 on each side. Let's do it. Rising up, closing the gap between ribcage to hips, and lower. 2. Exhale, 3. 6, 7, 9, 10, controlling down, 11, and last one, holding it up for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower down. Nice. Let's go other side. So you want to try and have the elbow underneath your shoulder the best you can, okay? So I don't know if you noticed I shifted myself towards my supporting leg after maybe 3 reps because I felt like I was slightly too extended through my elbow. Okay, so what I mean by that is felt like I was too far away. I was trying to close this gap by shifting forward, stacking underneath. Okay, let's do that on the other side. 12 here. Rising, ready, let's do it. Rising up and down. 5 and 6. Hips high. 7, 8, 9. 2 more. On the last one, we're going to hold. And 12. Hold here. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nicely done. Dropping it down. Okay. Have a little breather. Next one we're going to be doing is the boomerang. Okay, so we're going to start with one leg stacked on top of the other. Now, I'll show you this from a couple of different angles. Maybe do it with me. You might find it a bit easier when you're doing it with me step by step. So we're going to start with the hands down on the floor. The aim is to use as little weight through the hands as possible, more weight through your core and your hip flexors and quads. Okay, so we're going to lift up. And now from here, we're going to roll all the way back as far as you can. Quick change of legs. Then we're going to roll all the way back down like your teaser. Try and get a pause. And now we're going to take the arms behind you. If you can't clasp them together, most people find this quite tricky. Just reach behind you. And then we're going to control the legs down. Reach as far forward as you can. Release the hands. And then rise all the way back up. Now we're doing it again on the other side. Okay, so I'll show you from a front sort of angle here. We're going to go lifting up, taking it over, crossing the legs, rolling down through the spine, lifting up, reaching over, and back. Control the legs down, reach forward, and then letting go. And rolling back up. Nice. Let's do it one more time. Lifting up and back. Crossing. Control down. Hands go behind. Control the legs down. Reaching forward. Releasing the hands. And rolling all the way up. Okay. I really like that exercise. You could spend a long time focusing. I reckon I could spend an hour trying to fine tune that sort of position. But for the sake of making this an hour-ish long class, we're going to move on into the seal. Okay, so the seal from here, we're going to lift up through the heels. I have made people make sounds in class before. Maybe you can do that at home. So we're going to sit up and out of the hips. Start with your spine nice and tall. We're going to lift the feet. And now we're going to tap the feet together, roll back, tap, and come back up. Nice long spine, back, tap, tap, and up. Rolling through the spine, externally rotating through the feet, or the hips, sorry, and up. Let's go 2 more. Last one. And here. Nice. Okay, coming back down. Okay, the next one would have been the crab, which we're going to be skipping from. And now we're going to be going into rocking. Okay, so actually, I'm sorry, I've just switched these exercises. So rocking was what we did at the start that I called rolling back. we're actually going to do the rolling back now. Okay, so we're starting up nice and tall, and we're just going to roll down through the spine, rolling all the way down, and then you can just push onto the hands to come back up. Okay, and then rolling back down. Let's just do a couple of these, and then we're going to actually go into the rocking again, because it translates into our next exercise. Okay, let's go 2 more. Rolling. And last one. Rolling down. And coming up. Okay, let's just go a couple of rocks here, and then we're going to be taking, if we can, both of the legs over. You can catch your hips. Okay, now from here, this is called a control balance. So we're going to try and keep one leg on the floor, and we're going to try and hold that leg. So I'm going to keep my left side down first, and we're going to extend the right leg away. Reach away as far as you can, rolling down through the spine, and then return back to the start. Okay, and let's go other side now. Rolling back, holding on to my right leg. Left leg goes away, rolling down through the spine. Let's go one more on each leg. Lifting up, last one. And controlling down. Okay, this brings us to our last exercise, which is the push-up. Okay, so you can be on your knees or your toes. The elbows are trying not to flare out to the side or press too hard in towards the ribs. So we're just going on a sort of backward diagonal, controlling down, and coming all the way back up, drawing rib cage towards your hips. And now my challenge for you, let's try and get, say, 15 done, and then that'll do us. Let's do it. Locking the arms out. Five more. 3. And last one. Pushing it back. Awesome work. So that was a little insight into Contrology. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know how you found it, and I'll see you on the next session.